Okay, this is the shed that we ordered built. It was supposed to match the existing kit, and this is the kit. You can see the material of the kit right here, the texture. Then this is the new material, which is completely different, not even close to the old material. Next thing, we're going to go inside. Well, we're going to look at the door. These are the hinges. These are the largest hinges I could get, piano-style hinges. This is how they put them on. They put them on with 3 screws, and they put them on backwards. Now, because they left them that way, you can see where this hinge is being bent. Look at the top, and then we'll look at the bottom, and you can pretty much tell that the hinge is bent because it's hanging with 3 screws. Plus, it's on wrong. This is how a piano hinge is supposed to look, with both of the tabs inside. So when you open the door, this is what you should see. So they not only didn't put enough screws in, they apparently didn't know how to install a hinge. These rough cut areas are common throughout the building. When we come inside, we'll see how they cut the holes for things. Here's the vent hole up here. You can see the quality work there, and you can also see light coming through above it. Not sure what that's all about. Could be another hole. There are holes in all the corners. Here's an example over here. This is how this was left. The only thing they were supposed to do today was to come back and hang the doors. So they think they're done. There's a hole there. There were so many holes yesterday, large holes, that instead of replacing the material with the material that's cut to the proper size, they put these wood blocks in, and then they squirted putty in the ½ inch or more size splits rather than fix them. You can see here where they had some issues with the roof. You can see up here where they split these boards and just left them that way. I don't know if that's a big problem, but it doesn't look very good. One of the big problems here is the floor. We specified the floor was to match the floor in the existing shed, which is a 5/8 floor. This is a 7/16 floor, and this is what happens when you walk on it. See how it moves? And I'm just walking, I'm not jumping on it, I'm just walking. But you can see how much the material gives when you step on it. The floor was left in this condition. You can see here where I don't know if they ran out of roof nails or didn't know how to use them, but here we have giant nails sticking out through the ceiling. I'm 5'8". Anybody taller than me is going to be scratching their head on these nails. There's some more over here. This is a blowout. There are a couple of these where they hit the siding with the nail gun and shot a nail completely through it like a bullet. There's one of those there, and I believe there's another. Several places here where they completely missed the stud with the nail, so they've left nails sticking out here and there. Overall, it's a relatively sloppy job, and we're not sure what's going on up here. These don't appear to even be nailed on. I'm not sure what's holding this wood. I see a nail here and there, and a couple of them. There were supposed to be brackets up here. Well, you can see here where we've completely missed it. But there are supposed to be brackets that are holding these pieces of the roof together, and as you can see, they're not there either. So I don't know what is actually holding these cross pieces on these boards, because there's just nothing there to do that. When we get outside here again, we're going to look at the roof. If you look at the back of the roof here, you will see this odd sticking up lip here, and the reason for that is they put this trim up too high. So they've basically created a problem over here where I'm going to have water leakage probably before too long. You can look up here and see how they did that. These things are more than a ½ inch different in height, which has caused a big curl in the roof. Back here, you can see the putty where they had significant size holes where they've put a lot of putty rather than use material. A lot of nails are sticking out here. We're not sure what that's all about. You see here where they had pieced it together And then if you look at it from below, you can clearly see that it's crooked. Like many, many, many other features of this. I don't know what their problem is with this one, but they ended up just kind of bowing this piece. And we had the same problem here, where we've got these at very different heights. In some places, the paper extends over the shingles. In some places, the paper doesn't even reach the end of the underlayment. So we're thinking the roof is going to be a problem probably before too long. You see how lumpy and wavy it is over here. We're not sure what's going on with that. Same way with over here. This is a brand new roof. It's only been on here for 2 days. So numerous problems with this job. Here in the front, they measured the doors incorrectly. So they have this wavy piece of trim here. They were supposed to fix that before they left, but they didn't, obviously. If you look at it from here, you can see how much the trim bows. So the whole thing has just been a nightmare start to finish. 2 different crews. You see up here where they didn't either didn't have enough material or what they did, but they didn't have enough to put these in correctly, so what they did is scab a piece in there sideways. You can see up here where things don't join together correctly, and that's because they didn't have any tool with them to do angles. They had to eyeball the angles of all the material because they didn't have proper tools. They had no ladders, they had no sawhorses, they had absolutely nothing that you would expect to have to put a roof on a building or complete a building. See how the corners, how sloppy everything is. This just does not look like it was done by a professional builder at all. And that's what we paid for, licensed contractors. There's no trim on the corners. You can see here how badly this is sticking up. And there's no trim, there's nothing to protect that corner. This is some of the material that's left. And I don't see anything down here that's going to protect those corners. I don't see any. This trim piece down here are supposed to go around the big mess in the back where they have all the gobs of putty. So there's nothing here to correct these problems. You can see how wavy this is at the bottom, all the way down. Here they were supposed to make these doors a proper size because we're driving a lawn tractor in here, which we can never do with that flimsy floor they put in. You can see here there's already splits in the material of the floor. So this piece isn't even 7/16. They hung the doors, they made the doors gigantic for, we have no idea why. They've set them so low that we can't put a ramp here to get the tractor in, even though they were told that's what the building was. If we look at the bottom, these buildings are supposed to match up and be one contiguous building. But if you look at this piece down here was supposed to be cut to match what this looks like against the frame. That was not done all the way across. Here we have a great place to catch water and ruin not only the floor but this piece of siding. And you can see down here it isn't even properly attached. But this is probably, in my opinion, the worst construction job I have ever seen. There are so many problems. We have begged the contractor to come out here and look at it, but he refuses to do that. So this is where we are. We are now at the stalemate where we're not going to pay the final until the building is completely done, and the contractor refuses to come out and look.
Name the contractor.
Here you see, this is Farello Croker. Onyx Construction is the contractor. If you look at this peak here too, somehow they managed to miss the peak with the cap. It's off center. It's just one thing after another. Horrible, horrible quality of work. And that's pretty much it.